Today's video is sponsored by LastPass. Yo guys, Jonathan here, hope you guys are doing well. We are back with a Q&A, and we're kicking it off with a really tough question from my buddy Dan Markham, aka What's Inside. He asked, if you had to wear one pair of shoes for the rest of your life, what would you choose? That's a really tough question. If we're going like all-time favorite right now, I would probably lean towards the original Human Races in blue, but if we're talking like a lifelong commitment, it's probably gonna have to be a pair Ultra Boost. Right now, my favorite pair has gotta be the Triple Black 4.0s. They're comfortable, but they look freaking awesome.
Very nice.
Dennis asks, is the notch in Apple a bad trend? Specifically, he's talking about the iPhone 10, and that's kind of a two-part answer, yes and no. I thought a ton about this. Is the notch on the iPhone 10 ruining upcoming smartphones? And yeah, when Android manufacturers are copying Apple just for looks and there's no function to that, then it is completely stupid. As you know, the Essential phone actually kicked off the notch before the iPhone 10. It's much smaller, not as obtrusive, but I really don't mind either on both of these phones. Ultimately, the reason why those notches are there though is because we just don't have the tech to hide everything underneath the display. I honestly kind of prefer what Samsung is doing. I don't mind just a little bit of bezel, but Apple kind of went their way. They embraced notch, and we are definitely seeing the effect on that. If you haven't yet, MKBHD did a really awesome and informative video on the state of bezels. In a nutshell, we're pretty much at the middle point until we get to the next evolution of smartphones before we can officially hide everything underneath the display. It's an awesome video. I'll make sure to link down below. Make sure you guys check it out.
If you could combine any three smartphones together to make the perfect smartphone that's out right now, what would that look like?
For that, I'm gonna go with the Galaxy S9 as the body, the iPhone 10 internals plus software, but then I'm gonna rip the camera out of the Pixel 2 and smash that in for an amazing smartphone. Next up, Praveen Alessio asks, if you had to use one of these for the rest of your life, what would it be? A smartphone with the best camera but a really bad display, or a smartphone with the best display but a really bad camera? Not sure if this is cheating, but I would probably lean towards the phone with a good display, bad camera, because as much as we look at our phones, I would get really tired of looking at a terrible display, and vice versa. I could always bring a camera with me. Next up, Life of Tech asks, what is the best storage solution for 4K footage? Right now, I can't keep my raw footage as it takes up so much space. Now, I'm not sure what your exact budget is, but for the most part, I'm using a Samsung T3 SSD. Those come into capacities up to 2 terabytes, so that's usually plenty enough storage for most projects. If you happen to need even more speed and even more storage, OWC just came out with a brand new solid state solution that is up to 8 terabytes, which is crazy fast. It's pricey, but it's definitely gonna be the best option out right now. Day asks, animes that you're hyped for 2018. Honestly, you gotta ask Ken Bolito for that. Next up, we got another good question from Brandon Havard. Man, we got an all-star lineup today. He asked, what is the one thing Final Cut Pro 10 doesn't do that you wish it could? Now, if you'd asked me this like 6 months ago, my answer would be completely different. But with the recent update, they packed so many new features in there that are really useful. Color correction tools, so no longer do I need to use a third-party plugin like Color Finale. There's better LUT support. It's gonna sound a little bit weird, but if there was one feature I want that's not there, it would probably be GIF support. I know that might sound crazy, but there's been many times when I wanted to throw a GIF in one of my videos and I end up having to do multiple steps since it's not supported in Final Cut Pro 10. You have to open it in Finder, record that with QuickTime, and then bring it back. So if that was just included with Final Cut Pro 10, that would be surprisingly amazing. And cue the incoming Premiere Pro is better than Final Cut Pro 10 comments in 5, 4, 3, 2. Now, before we hop on to the next question, I wanna give a huge shout out to LastPass for sponsoring today's video. They make it easy so no one steals your password. Now, hopefully none of you out there are A, using the same password for every single website, or B, using password 1234 as your password. And if you are, change it now. So LastPass essentially is your one-stop shop for all your passwords, whether you're logging onto Facebook or shopping online. And what's awesome is they generate these impossible to remember, crazy long passwords, and they're different for every single website. But the beauty is, you don't gotta write them down, you don't gotta remember them because they do the work for you. Now, to add another blanket of security, LastPass also protects every single one of those randomized passwords with a master password that then you can add 2-step verification on. So it is a really, really secure way of doing things. And probably the coolest thing about all of this is you can check out LastPass for free. You guys check out the link below. It helps the channel. You guys are amazing. Next up, Toast Malone asked, brownie points for your name by the way, do you think there's still room for new tech YouTubers to make a name for themselves, or is it impossible nowadays to get into the game? Honestly, it is definitely a little harder now because it is so saturated and so many people out there want to make videos, but at the same time, if your content is good, you're gonna stand out no matter what. Someone like Peter McKinnon, even though he doesn't do technology specifically, is a fantastic example of someone who started late but absolutely killed it. Nathan.Drake asks, have you ever been arrested? Thankfully, I can say no to that. The biggest scare, or something close to that I could say, was back when I was in middle school, and absolutely none of you out there watching this ever repeat what I'm about to say or try this, but if you have Piccolo Pete's and you take them apart, you empty them into like a 7-Up bottle or a soda bottle, you can kind of make this homemade, explosive, really loud sounding. We ended up spending like all night making this master giant one and thought it'd be a good idea to light it off during summer school. I remember lighting it, running, and it was the equivalent to that Simpsons episode with April Fools where Homer opens the fridge. I felt it in my chest. Everyone freaked out, the cops came, we ran, and my mom, she ratted me out and told the cops to take us, so I was pretty scared. Also, Mom, if you're watching, thank you for the tough love. I love you. Chris Mix asks, hey, what lens for your DSLR is your favorite to use? If we're talking like absolute, just pure favorite right now, no budget, it's gotta be the Zeiss Otis, specifically the 28mm. It's an amazing, amazing lens. I've been using it pretty much exclusively for most of the videos you've seen lately. Now, if you're looking for more of a budget lens, it's hard to argue with the Sigma 18-35. Gio asked, do you think 2:1 will become a standard format for video, and what do you think about vertical videos? So I'm not sure if you guys have caught the more recent videos, but I've pretty much switched to 2:1, aka 18:9. So if you're watching on an iPhone 10 or a Galaxy S8 or an S9 or any of those ultra tall displays, it's gonna fill in more of the display. It's also a really interesting topic as far as video formats goes. I had no idea until I went down this rabbit hole that there were already shows that were shot on a 2:1 aspect ratio. Stranger Things, A Series of Unfortunate Events, which is an amazing show. So as far as that goes, I do kind of think it's the future as far as that aspect ratio of that middle ground, that's not too wide, but something that kind of blends in with most modern smartphones. Now, as far as vertical video goes, I don't always hate it. There's definitely a time and a place, something like Instagram or Snapchat before they were dead. I think it's a little exaggerated in the sense that some people absolutely freak out anytime they see a vertical video, but I'm not saying go upload a YouTube in vertical, but there's definitely a time where it makes sense, and where it does make sense, I actually enjoy it. Rahit asks, Canon or Sony? It's kind of like a back and forth that's been going on forever. Back in the day, Canon was like the go-to camera. The 60D specifically was the YouTuber camera. Then as Canon started to be stubborn and didn't dish out 4K, everyone kind of started to jump ship to Panasonic, to Sony. But now, in 2017 and 2018, people are kind of going back to Canon for their autofocus, for their color science. But if you're gonna ask me, I think the camera to look out for this year has got to be Sony's a7 III. They just announced it. It's a full frame camera with tons of video capabilities, but the best part about it is that it's $2,000, which is priced crazy compared to what you're getting with this camera. Sam asks, is a hot dog a sandwich? I'm gonna say no, because in my eyes, a sandwich kind of houses everything in between. You have the bread, you have the layers in the middle, and then you have the other piece of bread that kind of houses everything, whereas the hot dog, or the bun rather, kind of acts as the cradle to the hot dog. So kind of different, unless you like rip the bun apart and then made like a hot dog sandwich, but otherwise, hot dog is not a sandwich. David C. Angle asked, do you prefer the iMac Pro over the MacBook Pro? And I'm gonna say, if I'm in the studio or if I'm editing where I don't have to travel yet, all day long, I'm using the iMac Pro. The power is awesome. It's completely changed my workflow, but of course, I can't throw an iMac Pro in a bag, so when I'm traveling, I definitely go back to the MacBook Pro. It's kind of become a best of both worlds situation.
My question is, how old were you and when did you get all of your fancy equipment, like your camera, your crazy expensive computers, your office, and all of that? Because I'm 12 and this is my YouTube setup.
Honestly, man, I think your setup might be better than mine.